Are you doing a lot of things for your business but not seeing any results? Today we're going to talk about how not having a plan can actually hurt you on this episode of Coffee with Tea. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, Tanya Tyler, and I'm excited because today my guest works to get to the root of the administrative problems that prevent business owners and leaders from working in their expertise. So I brought on our expert, Ms. Sonya Moore, who's going to explain more about what that means. But first, before we dive in, how are you handling this coronavirus pandemic that we're dealing with, Ms. Sonya?
I'm handling it just as well as any other small business owner can handle it. You have to just stay optimistic. I've been pivoting, planning a little bit differently in my business, and then looking at ways that I can better assist my clients that have been affected, and all of my clients have been affected in some way or fashion. So like I mentioned, I'm just trying to pivot and adjust my services to align to better help them navigate.
Wow. So when you say you work to get to the administrative problem, what is it that you exactly do? Maybe you can explain best, what is it that you do?
Well, I am an execution strategist. So I take execution and I apply strategy to it so that I can help overwhelmed entrepreneurs and small team leaders scale and grow their business. And I do that by offering virtual administrative and consulting experience to them in the form of allowing them to work more on their business while I work in their business. So what does all of that mean? That means I do more than administrative support. So what I found in businesses is that you work so much at doing the craft that you so love doing. You're actually doing the service. But when you begin to grow, it's not about just doing the service. It's about stepping back and applying structure, strategy, goals so that you can grow and scale your business. So I allow that opportunity to all of my clients to do that by giving them a helping hand and giving them the strategies and the information that they need to automate, to delegate, and to communicate better with their clients.
Well, we talked for a brief moment, but really we're going to dive more into like, how do we take all that you share with us and work it into our business and help us shift our mindset into becoming going from like basically the employee to the CEO. So how does that really work with when you're working with people in their administrative problems or challenges, or you know what I'm trying to say?
I do. Well, it all starts with thinking about what's your why? Why did you start your business? And when you think of the why, what's the strategy behind the why? And then what do we need to do to align all of your administrative strategies with that why so that we can execute and actually have the results that you need that is going to help you grow your business. So it's all about the strategy. Then it's about setting goals to achieve it. And then to have a goal, you have to have a plan. And to have a plan, you have to execute it. So every step in that process is very critical. And when you're starting out, you're just executing. You're not necessarily doing the strategy and the planning. So with my services, I tie all of those three things together so that you are executing strategically. And along the way, we are ensuring that your goal and your strategy remains aligned so that we are getting the results that you have set for your business. So I tie all of those things together, and that's the first thing that you need to do. Now that's a lot, right? When you're in the midst of trying to do your business and then you're trying to field calls and questions and troubleshoots, that's when you have to step back and say, I can't do it all. I need help. So that's something else, knowing that you need help, because what got you here is not going to get you there. So that's where you have to start delegating. and delegating to professionals in certain areas that are going to remove some of that administrative relief for you so that you can now focus on bigger scope things that are going to drive your business. Because if you don't know what's driving your business or why you're doing it, you're literally just a hamster on a wheel. And you're like, I'm doing all of this stuff, but I don't see any benefits from it. Well, you don't have a strategy to know what you need to do and the things that you're doing to confirm that it's tied to what you said you needed it to tie to for those results.
So I like I said, you're preaching to the choir, as they would say. So when you come across people and I mean, by the time they come to your services, I'm sure they're probably like a little burnt out and stuff like that. And they're like, Sonya, help me. So when they come to you and stuff like that, and how do you get them to shift that mindset to help them start delegating? You know, I mean, it comes with a mind shifts strategy. So how do you help them start saying, you know, this ain't working, you need to let this go?
Well, I will say my target client, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, and you're ready to delegate by the time you come to me. So the release of the information 9 times out of 10 isn't that difficult because they realize that it's just too much and they know they want more in their business. So my first step with any of my new clients is first just to talk to them and collaborate, because I'm not here to take over. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to be a collaborative partner for you so you have another brain that you can talk to. And then I use my brain, and my superpower is the strategy and executing. So I literally just take what you say and I put a plan to it and help you execute it. So it just becomes a collaborative alignment of 2 individuals, and they're very appreciative of that because they're ready at that time for that. So it's not a matter of, oh my gosh, I don't want to let go. It's, I want to let go, but I don't know how. What do I need to focus on first? So again, all of my clients typically start off with a strategic planning session. That's like one of my most popular services. And it allows you to just brain dump. You're able to just talk and just tell me your why. Tell me your passion. Why did you get into it? Tell me a little bit about yourself. And then tell me about your business. And then from there, I'm able to chart all of that out into a roadmap and a plan. And that becomes what we execute off of, which becomes the tasks that get aligned to the goal, tying back to their why.
Wow. Like I said, you came highly recommended, because whoever you know, I'm not going to share her name, but the person who recommended you spoke highly. So how do you, like said, a lot of us, like said, we were already doing the execution part and we don't really start a plan. So where do we, when should we have, I should say, how do we back it up? I guess, how do we back that up?
You know, you can always stop wherever you are and create a plan. It's never too late to plan. Planning is one of mine. Like, you can tell I light up when I talk about planning. So planning is one of those underrated activities because people are like, I just need to do it and get it done. It's like, but if you don't know what result you're looking for or what success looks like, you're missing half the aha moments and the joy and the empowerment you can give yourself and your team, right? So it's just planning. You just need to realize I'm not accomplishing what I think I need to. Stop. And then we start from where they are. And that's something that I always talk to my clients about. We're going to start where we are. We're going to start where you are. And then we're going to create a plan from here moving forward, using the learnings that you gained thus far to improve upon those so that we can have success in the future.
Right. Like I said, we spoke briefly, and we were just talking about before also going live, setting boundaries. How important is setting boundaries when you're trying to shift that mindset from, you know, going from execution to you know, backing it up and planning it and strategizing? How important is that?
That is the number one thing, setting boundaries. As we were talking, all the moguls and the very successful people have boundaries. They have a very specific time schedule. They know what their goals are. They know what they need to achieve them, and they make sure that everything that they do align with that. That's why goal setting is very important, and knowing what you want to happen as a result of that goal, because all of your steps should align to that. All of the execution, all of your efforts. And if you're being asked to do something that doesn't align with that, it's an immediate, you know what? I'm not able to participate in that at the moment. I wish you luck. I support. However, I won't be able to do X, Y, Z. It becomes much easier when you understand why you're declining or why you have to move a different direction. Because of course, when you're growing, the people that are around you that you've been servicing may not be ready for you to grow. Because when you get better aligned with what you're wanting to do, the people that you've been working with or for still need you in that capacity, but you've transitioned. So now you're going to have that difficult conversation to say, you know what, it's been great. I'm so glad I've been able to service you, but my new direction is over here because these are some goals that I have in place. And you keep moving. And being a CEO, you have to have those difficult conversations of transitioning and pivoting and moving because you have a big picture idea that you're trying to materialize.
Right, right. So I'm hearing you, so I'm getting it. But like I said, I think it's hard because people, as women, I should say women, we want to come off as nice. We want to support our friends. So, I mean, how do we really deal with that? I mean, I know you talked about the boundaries and stuff like that, and you gave us some great tips on like how to address some of those things. But what's the biggest, I would say, hang up that you think women just don't seem to get when it comes to that?
Saying no and how it's going to make people feel. And, I mean, that's it. I mean, I struggle with it too, but you have to put your feelings first. This is a time where you have to be selfish, because if you're not, you're going to spend more energy in places that aren't your true calling or your superpower or that thing that you've been blessed with to do. And you're going to walk away feeling incomplete or not feeling happy and wondering why. So it's an exercise, it's a muscle that you have to continue to do. And again, if you want to know how to do it and do it well, follow someone that is your the person that inspires you the most in your field. If they're making, let's say, high six figures, 7, watch how they move. They don't have an issue saying no. And when they say no, people may get upset, but they don't care. Or they've perfected how to say no so it's not hurting their feelings. So you have to find your words and how it aligns with you, because that's something else too. How people say no can look different for different people. So you have to find your way of saying no that aligns with your personality and makes you feel good in your spirit. So you may hear, some people might be direct to the point and say, no, I can't do that, not interested. Other people may say, you know what, I really would love to. However, my efforts are moving in a different direction at this time. You know, I do wish you well. Keep me updated. If anything changes, I'll let you know. And also, you don't owe anyone an explanation. I think as women, we feel like we have to explain everything. And actually, I learned this in corporate America. No, I'm not able to do that. Right. That doesn't align schedule. And you don't have to tell people why it doesn't. I have a conflict. I will not be able to attend that event tonight. Period. You don't have to say why and go into this long explanation. Just, I have a conflict, I won't be able to attend. And that is enough. The fact that you followed up is powerful and told them your position, that's power. So I think it's just communicating differently and just being more specific and putting yourself first to get back to your happy place, which is why you started your business to begin with. And we do get in a fog at times. And that's when you just pause, you reset, figure out what was that thing that got me off track. You might have evolved because your business may be shifting. You might be introducing new services. you may be realizing that services that you offer aren't in alignment with where you want to spend your time, which means you may want to build a team to delegate those services or completely remove them from your service offerings altogether. Those are the things that when my clients work with me, we talk about. Because sometimes it's not what you're saying, it's what you're not saying. And when things get a little difficult, you're like, why is this so hard? It's like, well, it doesn't have to be hard sometimes. Maybe it just means it's something that's out of alignment now that was good 6 months to a year ago, but with where you're moving now, it doesn't fit. And I think when we're moving someplace new and we're growing, we oftentimes forget when we're moving and growing upward, there are things that we have to let go here in order to embrace the new things that are coming our way and allowing us to be blessed. We can't just keep grabbing all of these things. We have to let some things go, whether it's delegating or removing them, in order to reach for those other things that we want that's going to get us to our next level.
That's definitely powerful. I hope somebody got that. So I know somebody, if nobody got it, I got it. So
well, it comes from years of experience. I mean, I worked in corporate America 25 plus years. I was in management, leadership, different leadership roles throughout the organization in different capacities. So I'm definitely speaking from a place of knowing, growing up from just execution, which is where I was grounded in administrative execution, being an assistant, working my way all the way up to leading global teams. So there's a lot of transformation there, which is why in my business, I'm able to help you execute by getting your hands dirty, but then I'm also able to help you strategize, which is that leadership piece. And when you start moving into leadership, that's when it becomes more about strategy and then putting the right people in the right places to delegate so that they can execute according to the vision that you have set as a CEO. Because if you cannot communicate your own vision, you cannot expect someone else to.
Amen to that.
And you'll be surprised. There are a lot of people who, when they start growing these teams, they want to drop a one-liner and then want their team to execute on that. And it's like, well, what's your goal? What's your reason? What does success look like? If as a leader, you're asking your team to do something, you can't answer those questions. You as a leader need to go back to the drawing board, answer those questions. So then when you are able to articulate and communicate what the next goal and thing is, you're able to paint a beautiful picture of what it is, why they're doing it, the end result, how it's going to benefit them, how it's going to benefit the client and benefit the business as all, and where they fit into that. If you can answer all of those questions, you're going to boost productivity and you are going to empower your team to take it to the next level and to achieve those goals that you set, and people are going to love doing it.
Oh, great. So before we wrap up, what's the one thing you want to leave the audience with?
I want to leave the audience with, make sure that you have a strategy in your business, which essentially means know why you're doing what you're doing and what you want to get out of it. And if you don't know, it's okay. You just need to get help in order to do that. And a strategy is very important in order for you to get to your next level, wherever that is for you. And I just encourage all small business owners to stop and really think about the strategy, get out of their business and look at their business. Be honest with themselves about what's working, what's not working, where they need help, and do something about it. And if that means getting help, or if you have all the stuff in your head and you don't know where to start, that's when you can call me, because I can help.
Well, that will segues into our next question. Where can people find more information about what you do, your services, and how to, like I said, get it out of their head and onto the paper?
Well, you can always go to my website at www.moorepc-llc.com. And if you want to schedule a 15-minute power planning call with me where I can listen to what your challenges are and possibly offer you an administrative solution, you can schedule time with me at www.sharewithsonya.com to get on my calendar. And you also will find information about my whiteboard moment sessions, which I mentioned are my virtual strategic planning sessions, where it literally kind of walks through the process of who it is for, what you'll get out of it and why you need it. And if you go to my website and look for that whiteboard moment tab under services to see if, you know what, this is something that I think I need. Let's chat, because it changes lives. It transforms businesses. I will say that.
Well, thank you, Miss Sonya, for all that knowledge you shared. Like I said, all the links that you mentioned will definitely be placed into the comments. So thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your insight. I can't believe that we are just about up on time. We are just starting the conversation. So I would definitely love to have you come back and maybe talk some more about some of the strategic things maybe people are missing. Absolutely. And because I always say the first time you're an introduction, the second time they already know who you are and we'll already have questions for you. So
I am open. I love to return. I could talk about this subject all day, and there's so many different elements that you can talk about when it comes to strategic planning. So I will be more than willing to come back.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And for those who tuned in, I want to say thank you. And remember, feedback is always welcomed. Email us if you have any guest or show ideas. Links will be posted, as I said, to all of Sonya's information that she has mentioned on her websites. And also, best thing you do, like, share, and subscribe. And remember, take things in stride, go with the flow, and create your own path. And again, thank you for tuning into this episode of Coffee with Tea. We'll see you back here next time. Share with us, what was one of your takeaways from today's show? Post your answers in the comments.